I just finished reading the book called Solaris. Somebody who saw my video of me watching and comparing the two Solaris movies, and he kind of responded that you want to read the book. Maybe it's more enjoyable to read books. So okay, I would read books, and I got this copy, Solaris, and decided to read it. And yeah, it is a very enjoyable book, and once you start to read, you cannot get away from it. And essentially, as you know, if you saw the movie or if you read the book, and this is a science fiction, and it's all coming out of this brain of this particular author. I think the French author, written I think in French in the beginning, so it's translated to English probably 1961ish is in the French version, and the 1970 become like an English version came out. So it's an old book, and two movies are made out of this. And so I enjoy those two movies, a very different perspective of this particular book. And this book is also very different from the movies, because more details, and it's very trying to be like a scientific approach. And this particular Solaris is a planet going around I think this particular system, solar system, I would say, outside our solar system. This particular, I think it's based on, I think it's modeled after the Alpha Centauri. And Alpha Centauri is the closest solar system, I think closest sun to our solar system, and but it takes like 4 light years away from Earth, I think. So it's far away. But anyway, I think it's probably Solaris is, I think, got this particular author got the idea of this particular Alpha Centauri, which has 2 stars there, and 1 dwarf star, Prometheus or whatever, and so but it's nothing mentioned here in this book about Alpha Centauri or anything like that. But definitely this particular psychologist, Kelvin, is the used to be stationed in that satellite going around the Solaris planet of the particular 2-star systems. And but there's 2 other or 3 other, so total 4 people went there to work to investigate what Solaris planet is. And so I think the Kelvin came back to Earth after that once, and but he realized that one of the scientists there died or something, so he has to go back to find out why he died and all those stuff. So he went back again to Solaris, and surviving scientists like Sartorius and Snow, two scientists there, and so he meets them and then tried to figure out what happened, and that's all the story of Solaris. But Solaris itself was very, very interesting planet that unlike Earth, it's all, I think it's modeled by the looks of like a Jupiter in our solar system, because it kind of reminds me of the Jupiter. It's like a very chaotic ocean-like plasma-like substance on the Earth, and I think the you cannot go in there because it you die, or you dissolve, or whatever it is, because of the heat or whatever. But you can hover around that particular planet and explore. And so in the past, Solaris become a tremendous interest for human being. Of course, this particular story took place in the far, far future compared to now, and therefore there's lots of studies about Solaris from Earth, and many expeditions went there, and all those studies depict, they are stored in the library in this particular station, going around the Solaris planet itself. So the Kelvin is a psychologist, and he studied so many things there, and he got to know more and more after reading those libraries there, and finding out what the Solaris are made of. But during the course, also the cause of death of this particular friend scientist is more or less related to something like you get the visitor. You get the visitor in the human form, and I think that's kind of a hypothesized that if the person go near the Solaris planet, you get some kind of a mental information taken by Solaris, and the Solaris itself can produce some very, very accurate object coming out of from this particular human being's brain, and present that particular subject. Mostly the wife or close friend or parents or somebody like that. So each person gets some kind of a visiting person coming. Of course, Kelvin, I think, I'm not sure how Kelvin's wife passed away. I think he and this young wife lived on the Earth, but I think they somehow Kelvin was kind of very, very taken by the study of the Solaris, and maybe ignored his wife. So his wife, I think, committed suicide or something. So he lost his wife. But this particular wife, named Rhea, came to that station to meet him. And so that particular sequence is very, very nice. The wife is about, never get old or anything, because he's young and pretty, 20 years old about, and a very, very nice human being, very nice, kind, warm human being. And so Kelvin was happy to see her, but also he knows that that's not the real rare, because he already knows that she passed away. But once I think Kelvin realized that he has to put this particular creature away. So he tried to do that by putting her in the kind of a spaceship or something, and launches from that particular station. But she comes back again. So Kelvin already know that particular wife is not real, and so he has a very complex feeling about her, being around with her. So in that prospect, I think the story progressed there, and there's lots of discoveries of the studies that conducted by people, earthling, and depicting how the Solaris operating itself. And it seems like Solaris can absorb something from human mind, and to create something tangible from that mind. But also Solaris itself is not like attacking people or engulfing people or harming people or anything like that. More or less like a very constant, peaceful the surrounding there, and so Solaris itself is not depicted as evil or anything like that. More or less like one of the cosmic phenomena that doesn't have any interaction with anything, any other peoples, any other the souls or any other thing that you might have this thoughts of aggression, the thoughts of fear or anything like that. Although those feelings are existing there, but it's never become a huge thing for those three scientists. Now it's on board there, and so the rest of it, like Kelvin's like a discovery of this library, and trying to study what the Solaris is and what the nature of the Solaris is. And of course those study is incomplete because it's so complicated, so unknown to human beings. So it's like a not perfect studies there. So you still don't know what's going on Solaris. But after a while, I think those three scientists, Kelvin and the other scientist on that station, decided to get rid of this Kelvin's wife by doing some experiments, and so they succeed in that, and so Kelvin, happily or unhappily, I think he decides to go back to Earth. But before he goes back to Earth, he had one wish. He's never explored outside this spaceship there near Solaris, so he realized he should go at least close to the Solaris ocean there. And so he get onto that spaceships, and with space clothes and everything, and explore those. And that's like toward the ending of that particular books. And so I think structure-wise, I think maybe closer to the Tarkovsky's movie, Solaris. But the movie itself, of course, I couldn't tell you what's written in this book, and therefore it's like unsatisfactory, and that's why I realized I should read the book. And the book is pretty much, I would say, satisfactory, because as a science fiction, they try to be as scientific as much as possible, and also believable as reader explore. And so yeah, that part is kind of nice. So that's why once you start to read, you cannot stop it, because it's very, very gripping tale of that particular adventure. So yeah, I really recommend this book. If you've seen the movie, definitely I recommend you to read the books. And I think the books gives you more details or more explorations of what happened when Kelvin goes to the Solaris station. And so it's, in that way, it is very satisfactory. And also, I think a kind of an ending is kind of nice. It's a kind of a peaceful, more or less. And so I think you get the satisfaction, even though there's a lot of unknown there. But still very, very satisfactory read. And Stanislaw has like 20 other books written, and I don't know, this is the most famous one probably. And so I don't know, I should read more of his books. And he is definitely a science fiction writer, and I'm not a science fiction reader, but definitely I kind of investigate myself to get onto the science fiction. I think excellent book. I think you get more or less like your idea of cosmos, space, or the God, or psychology, all mixed together, and you get like a more deep appreciation of this book, because of the what are we on this earth in a vast space, and why we came on living on this earth, and what the purpose of that, what God's existing or not. And so all these questions is kind of delineated in this book here. And so yeah, I would recommend. Okay.